A big thank you to White Rabbit for bringing this video to all of you via Patreon. Niv Mizzet Parun versus Atraxa Praetor's Voice, and we have no blue mana. Are we going to get into it with Gitaxian Probe? Yeah, probably not, and we want ramp anyway, so let's mulligan that. Get into the Gitaxian Probe again. Yeah, we'll keep that one. Blasphemous Act I might regret getting rid of, but yeah, let's get rid of the Blasphemous Act there. I'm going to try to rely on countering the Atraxa as opposed to wiping it off the board. Yeah, we might get into a cantrip or something, so let's pay for looking at our opponent's hand. We pay that with the 2 life, and they've got Hardened Scales, Inspiring Call. Mana Crypt thankfully doesn't help them to get their commander into play. They want to be putting plus counters on their commander, so not too bad. Get into Vandal Blast, and our opponent throws down their Vivid Marsh. A Field of Ruin for us will help us to get into some red mana if we need it. Let's go for... do we want to ramp or do we want to take the Summoning Sickness off of Jace? We might want to get rid of the Mana Crypt regardless with the Vandal Blast. Yeah, let's just go for the... is it Signet here? Because I'm not sure what I would discard with Jace anyway. They throw down the Hardened Scales. 2 cards in hand that we don't know about. And there is an Impulse, so we can go for the Jace here. And then we're holding up both Impulse and Memory Lapse. Try and get into some more ramp. Okay, I have 6 through my turn and didn't expect the Swords to Plowshare, so that went on to the Jace. Probably would have allowed that through anyway, because I don't want them to have access to the Swords to Plowshares, which they would have eventually, because Memory Lapse puts it on top. Let's see what our opponent goes for here. They've just dropped another Vivid card. So still no Mana Crypt. They probably want to drop that and make use of it immediately. Let's go Impulse. Alright, there is some counter magic. We put 1 into our hand, the rest on the bottom. Yeah, I've got the Memory Lapse anyway, so I think I'm just going to go for the land here. We want to try and get into our commander as quickly as possible. We also want to shuffle our library as quickly as possible, so I will likely go for Field of Ruin on my opponent's turn. And we get into another mountain anyway. Yeah, maybe we go for it now. We'll get rid of their Vivid Meadow because that can make mana of any colour. And we'll just make another island here. They went for a Plains to replace their Vivid Meadow. And there's an island, so they've got all the colours they need for their commander now. So let's go Memory Lapse on that. And did not put that on top of their library, put it into the command zone. They played an island for the turn, so we know that they've still got Opal Palace in their hand. And yeah, 1 card in hand that we don't know about. A Cryptic Command. Yeah, let's just go for our commander here. They can go for their commander with the Mana Crypt, because that will pay for the tax on that. If they're doing that, they're not pointing any removal at our commander. So there's the Crypt. They've played the Opal Palace as well. So just an Inspiring Call that we know of at the moment. They have made Opal Palace mana, so the Atraxa is going to come down with a plus counter on it. So that comes down into play. Has 3 plus counters on it. Gets a 4th one from the Proliferate effect on Atraxa. Putting another counter on the Vivid Marsh as well. So they've got a 9/9 commander at this point. 1 damage onto our opponent. And we've got Fact or Fiction there. I'm assuming that we're going to be holding up the Cryptic Command. Let's go for the Vandal Blast onto the Mana Crypt. That will draw us a card, which will have us ping our opponent again. And we get into a land to shuffle things around, so we'll potentially draw into those counter spells. Might take hit from my opponent. If they go for any kind of infect thing, then we can bounce it in response, because a bounce counter would be nice. At the very least, it's Summoning Sickness on their commander next turn if they're forced to replay it again. So yeah, let's just hold back here. Okay, there's a Thrumming Bird for some more Proliferate. they made the Shambling Vent this turn, so they can't recast their commander, so in that case, we're actually going to bounce it in response to the attack. We don't want to take commander damage if we don't have to, and actually the lifelink is going to be relevant as well. So let's bounce that, and we'll draw a card. We can ping the Thrumming Bird away. So ping the Thrumming Bird, we draw into Cyclonic Rift just to annoy our opponent even further. Bounce their commander back to hand, and just ping our opponent this time. And then we'll shuffle things around. We'll get the new Snow Permanent into play. I have added a few Kaldheim cards in here. I can't remember what they are now. There's... yeah, Saw It Coming is one. There's another Foretell one. The white one that exiles artifacts and creatures for some reason. And now we've got the bounce counter online with Exclude, so hopefully our opponent doesn't scoop next turn, but they might do out of sheer frustration. So we draw a card at the beginning of the turn, of course, which will allow us to ping our opponent. And let's swing it straight in at them, deal 5 commander damage. If they do manage to land a bunch of damage with Atraxa, then the lifelink might be relevant, and therefore our commander damage might be relevant. I'm going to go for the Treasure Cruise as well. And casting that will have us draw a card, which will have us ping our opponent, and then we'll draw 3 from the Treasure Cruise itself. So that's a lightning bolt on our opponent, and this is exactly what we want to do with Niv Mizzet Parun. That allows us a land for the turn. So we've got a lightning bolt available to us. This is 2 damage to any target. Have something lose all abilities, so that is removal for Atraxa as well. So it's looking pretty bad for our opponent at this point. And Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. Looks like they're just going straight in for their commander again, making Opal Palace mana. So we have our opponent facepalm and go for an Exclude, which draws us 2 cards thanks to Niv Mizzet. Ping our opponent twice. And then, yeah, I'm just going to pretend to hold up counter magic. Let's lightning bolt our opponent. And yeah, our opponent sees the writing on the wall there. We ping our opponent again thanks to lightning bolt, and then bolt them, takes them down to 9. Might have gone for this as well, would have been 7, and then 6. And then we swing in at them next turn, and cast another instant or sorcery, and that will be that, I imagine. We were drawing into Consecrated Sphinx, another tutor, or actually the only tutor. I don't think we got another one this game. So yeah, that is Niv Mizzet Parun. If any of you haven't seen it before, then there is an entire playlist of it. I can link you to it if you haven't seen that yet. Don't think we saw any of the new cards. Just looking over at the deck list here, I've put the Snow Jewel in, which we did play actually. Behold the Multiverse, there's Raven Form, Saw It Coming, the new counterspell. There's the new Snow Lightning Bolt as well, is in here. So that has been updated for you all. Link is in the description to the new list if you want to see that. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Be sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you did. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.